Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order, welcome to Hapanwo TV. Well, this is part 2 of my video, Gateway to a Parallel Universe, which I promised that I would shoot, and I am shooting it now. It's now Tuesday, and Wednesday. By the time you watch this, it'll probably be at least Wednesday evening. Now, the reason I didn't really go into what I was talking about in the first film was I wasn't exactly sure what was going to happen at the weekend. This is basically because there was an alignment with the comet Elenin. Now, you know, there's a lot of controversy over comet Elenin, what it is, what it can do. And I think I should probably clarify my own position. I wasn't surprised when there was no mass tsunamis, tidal waves, volcanoes and all the other things that were predicted. I wasn't surprised about that. There was the people who said that sort of thing was going to happen had no real reason to, I don't think. That's not just with hindsight, that's because basically Comet Elenin, as far as we can see, is nothing but a very, very small comet. It's a piece of rock and ice just a few miles across. Now, there are other theories like that it's some kind of electrical phenomenon. I mean, Wal Thornhill talks about that. Now, if Wal Thornhill is right, it's always possible there could be some kind of event. However, I did have my doubts. I'll go into a bit more detail on that later. Anyway, I spent the last few days with her staying at her place, and I will show you. I'll show you here what we discovered. Firstly, is this page by Bill Ryan. Here, Ryan, good old Bill Ryan. If you've seen my Charles videos, I really like this guy. It's this on September the 10th. He announced that Comet Elenin seemed to have broken up. This is just the day before, or almost exactly on the day when it went into perihelion, when it was as close to the Sun as it came. Now, since then, it's basically been behind the Sun, so it's been virtually invisible. The sign that it had broken up was actually based on something published by Leonid Elenin, the astronomer who discovered the comet, where he said that there's nothing coming out of it. There was no sign of any emissions from it in terms of its evaporated gas, which meant it even fragmented, or basically it's completely dried up. Now, since then, since Sunday, it's been visible again on the Soho satellite, which is since it came out from behind the Sun, and it reached its alignment. This is the closest it's going to appear to the Earth on the celestial sphere, just 1.9 degrees away. And there's all kinds of images of objects now, which appear to show what many people think is the comet Elenin, and it has survived its perihelion passage. It's now moving out away from the Sun, out into space, to come back in maybe 50,000 years or so. On October the 16th, it's going to pass very close to the Earth. It's going to pass, well, 22 million miles is close in cosmic terms. And there's all kinds of stories about what's going to happen then. But anyway, between Sunday and yesterday, there was meant to be some kind of alignment where this alignment with the comet Elenin was supposed to produce some kind of effect. Now, I wasn't quite sure what that effect would be, if there was an effect at all, but I thought I would not say anything just in case until afterwards. Presumably we were all here afterwards, and it seems we are. Well, I'm still alive anyway. I've phoned a few people; they're still alive too. The birds are still singing, as Ken Wilber says. So that's a good sign anyway. As I say, Elenin, really, as far as I can see, Elenin cannot possibly have any physical effect on the Earth. What it can have is something in terms of astrology. Now, what I was saying in the last video was I was talking about dimensional gateways. You know, movement between one universe and another. Portals which open, which basically link one universe to another, as in the Philip Pullman books, the Dark Materials trilogy, films like The Mist, things like that. Now, it's possible that in terms of astrology, the alignment could have caused some kind of energy, whatever sort of energy is astrology, or what astrology works with, to create some kind of dimensional melding. So I was expecting some kind of dimensional effect. I've been watching a lot of videos which talk about ascension, about people who seem to feel that there is some kind of change on a spiritual etheric level that might be caused by this event. Not earthquakes, not tidal waves, not tsunamis, not explosions or volcanoes, but some kind of spiritual dimensional effect. There's a lady whose name I can't quite recall, but she let me just find it. So I should mention it because I put my first video as a response to hers and she accepted it. Thanks. Right. Well, bear with me. It's Powerful Tools for Life. A lady who's just put a video up, which is very interesting because she describes her own feelings over this time period. Now, I think I was wondering whether I would experience these things or Stain would. Now, we actually did. We basically, what happened was from Sunday to Monday. Well, on Sunday I was at that British Humanist Association conference. I went up there Sunday night, and through Monday and Tuesday we were basically sitting in with a few bottles of wine and some food and keeping our eye on the news and things like that to see if anything happened. This was mixed. What actually concerned us was the stories about Obama. President Obama was on what they call the Western Swing, which is part of his re-election campaign, and he went to California and he went to Colorado, and he stopped off in Denver on yesterday. Now, Denver, as I'm sure you'll know, is the site of the secret, the emergency capital. It's this big, massive underground centre at Denver Airport. There's a lot of esoteric things there, which have been said about the murals, about the statues and things, which I don't have time to go into details, but I'm sure you can find these things out. There's a massive underground centre which is designed to be among other things, the US capital should a major disaster affect the United States. Now, Obama happened to be in Denver at that time, and there was a lot of speculation about whether something was going to go down and he was going to get into his bunker. And just being just the right place at the right time for that to happen. Because you see, as I said, I didn't predict any real natural disaster. But if there is some kind of dimensional shift, which is for the better, which is for the benefit of us all, I did think it possible that the Illuminati might try to do something to subvert it. They might put in a kind of counter shot to try and subvert any kind of ascension that we might experience as a result of this alignment. There's also talk about the Pope. I can't find anything online about this, but the Pope apparently recalled a lot of the cardinals and archbishops to Rome over this period, over the last few days. Again, this is unsubstantiated. I mean, Obama being in Denver, that's provable. It's been in the mainstream news. The Pope's actions, I'm not so sure. So what happened? Well, Elenin seemed, from what I can see, Elenin has survived its perihelion passage. It did make its alignment. And me and Ostain did have a couple of very strange days where we experienced some of the things that Powerful Tools for Life talks about in terms of the ascension symptoms. I for one thing, I had a very, very strange and extremely powerful dream. I don't not often talk about my dreams, as you know. I'm not keeping a dream diary here, but I think I should tell you about this one. It was a really amazing. It's one of these dreams where you don't know you're dreaming, and then you realise you do, but you're awake. You feel like you're awake. It's so vivid. It was so vivid. I mean, it's one of these dreams where you wake up in the dream and you think you're awake, but you're not. This happened at least twice in the dream. I know. Basically, me and Ostain we were sleeping downstairs in the lounge on the settees, and she's got two big futon settees, and we were sleeping on them because we wanted to be near the computer so we could see the news and the TV as well, you know. basically in the early hours of the morning, I sort of woke up and I was asleep very fitfully. Estain had been experiencing aches and pains, which, you know, and strange feelings in her head. I had a strange lot of tinnitus in my ears. Now, these could be these ascension symptoms. I don't know, maybe we went through some kind of dimensional shift. And I had the most incredible dream I've had in years and years. It was amazing. I was in the same room I was in there. I was awake, sitting on a settee, in my dream. Everything was so clear. Estain was asleep on her settee, and there were ghosts everywhere. I saw a woman standing between us, in the gap between the settees, and I stood up and spoke to her. I can't remember what I said, but she kept shape-shifting to different people, different women. All women, but different ones. And then I saw several other ghosts appearing. And then I saw my brother. Now, this is what I was saying. I've spoken about ghosts before. Now, you can see ghosts of the living as well as the dead, oddly enough. About 30% of ghost sightings are of living people. I saw the ghost of my brother. Now, my brother is alive and well. He lives just about a mile away from me, and I've spoke to him this morning. He's alive and well. But I saw his ghost in this dream in Estain's lounge on Tuesday morning, in the early hours of Tuesday morning, yesterday morning. He didn't look like he does now. He looked like he did when he was a lot younger. He was quite slim, and he had like a big beard and huge bushy hair, and like thick glasses, big round sort of like glasses. Other strange thing, Estain was asleep through most of this. I was trying to wake her up in my dream, and eventually I did wake her up. And you see, because I woke up myself in the dream, and I thought I was awake, then I realised I wasn't awake. And for a while I realised it was a dream, and eventually I woke Estain up. And sometimes in dreams people behave very out of character. I don't know if you've noticed that, but people sort of like behave differently as they do in real life. And in my case, Estain behaved very out of character. Basically, Estain is a mild-mannered, kind person, you know, which is why I like her so much. She's always treats me very gently and respectfully, and I do her too. That's the kind of relationship we want. In this dream, she became very aggressive, very violent. She tried to hit me. She was shouting, screaming at me. And I remember very, very clearly saying to her, you know, "You're not Estain," using her real name, obviously. You're not real. You're a figment of my imagination. You're not Estain. You're just a figment of my imagination. And so I must have been aware that I was dreaming at that point. It must have been a lucid dream. But then I woke up for real, and I did the classic thing and pinched myself. But even then, I walked into the kitchen, I looked around myself, and I did a few more things to try and ascertain I really was awake. That's how vivid this dream was. And I immediately got a pen and paper and I wrote it down. You know, I wrote down the dream. Where is it? I haven't got the paper with me now. Sorry, but I wrote down the dream, and I've never had a dream like that, I don't think, in years. So what happened? Was there a dimensional shift of some kind? I haven't noticed anything since that leads me to feel that way, but then if there had been some kind of dimensional shift over the last couple of days, would we necessarily know about it straight away? What's a dimensional shift like? What's it look like? What's it feel like? It may not be as obvious as the kind of things that Philip Pullman writes about in his books, you know, square holes cut in the air, massive explosions of light leading to portals at the North Pole. I mean, that's what happens in his books. But that might not be what it's like in real life. We don't know. So anyway, I'm now in a position where I can actually make part 2 of this video, Gateway to another universe, to a parallel universe, and begin to wonder if something like that has happened. I mean, as far as I can tell, it hasn't. But then again, would we know if it hadn't? I hope all of you guys, you Panamo TV viewers, have come into this parallel universe with me. If I am in a parallel universe, I've had to look through my list, and I can see actually. I should apologise actually, because I can see a lot of you have sent me messages and left me comments. I will actually answer those as soon as I can, but I'm going away to the Probe conference this weekend, so I'm afraid I won't have time until I get back next week. So bear with me, I will answer all your comments. This is going to be my last conference for some time, probably till next year now. I've run out of money basically. So I hope you've enjoyed this little two-part special on gateways to a parallel universe. Fictional gateways and maybe real gateways. What you can do actually is you can let me know if you've experienced anything that makes you think that maybe we have moved into a parallel universe. Maybe we have experienced some kind of ascension. What do you reckon? I hope so. If that's the case, then whatever the Illuminati planned to stop us has failed. There hasn't been any disaster. There hasn't been anything that the Illuminati planned, like a false flag terrorist attack or something, which I feared they were going to do. So, what has happened, if anything? Let me know. Well, thanks for watching. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order.